On to the US now. In just over a month of his second term at the White House, Donald Trump has signed a whopping 79 executive orders touching on issues from significant foreign policy changes and massively slashing the US Agency for Foreign Aid. But some of his decisions have met fierce resistance. By February 27th, 16 of the orders had been challenged in court, according to monitoring by Just Security at the New York's University School of Law. A report on Trump's recent decisions. Since returning to the White House on January 20th, Donald Trump has signed a whopping 79 executive orders touching on issues from foreign policy to transgender rights. No US president has signed so many executive actions so quickly since 1937. In his 77th order signed on Saturday, Trump made English the official language of the United States of America. The move aims to promote national unity and cohesion, citing English as the country's founding language. But the US is home to over 350 languages, with nearly 68 million people speaking a language other than English at home. Critics argue the move may marginalize non-English speakers. Also on Saturday, US President Donald Trump ordered a new trade investigation that could heap more tariffs on imported lumber, adding to existing duties on Canadian softwood lumber and 25% tariffs on all Canadian and Mexican goods due next week. Another priority, immigration, is covered by 15 orders signed by Trump. The US is deploying around 3,000 additional active duty troops to the Mexican border, as it has been a key campaign promise of Donald Trump. But not all is well in the US's leading food producing state of California. Fear is taking root among thousands of migrants who labor to feed a country that now seems ready to deport them.
Pues con mucha depresión, tristeza.
There is a great deal of depression, sadness, and anxiety because we fear being deported and separated from our families.
Tantos años que tenemos aquí hemos entregado nuestra vida.
The climate of fear is worsening working conditions, reducing wages, pushing undocumented workers further into the shadows, and this undercuts the wages of American workers. That is one of the great tragic ironies of this moment, that for people who did vote for America first, for people who did want jobs to go to Americans, this is not resulting in that. What this is resulting in is, yes, maybe a couple people get deported, but now you have thousands of people who are so afraid of being deported that they're willing to work for way less. They're not going to report wage theft. So if anything, it's undercutting the value of American workers.
Further, the Trump administration sent out a second round of emails to federal employees of multiple agencies to summarize their work over the past week. This comes as Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency team looks at mass layoffs to dramatically trim the federal footprint. With his Republican Party only holding narrow majorities in Congress and seeking to move quickly to remake the US government, Donald Trump has brandished his pen as a weapon targeting trade, immigration, civil rights, and federal bureaucracy. Bureau Report, DD India. Meanwhile, Americans remain divided over the heightened confrontation between US President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in the Oval Office one day earlier. Dozens of Ukraine supporters on Saturday protested outside the White House at Lafayette Square, calling for continued US support for Ukraine. The demonstrators also condemned Trump's treatment towards Zelensky, saying they were appalled by it and the confrontation was a disgrace to the world.
It was awful. It was embarrassing. It was childish. It was bullying. Couldn't be any worse. Doesn't represent me. Doesn't represent most of us, I think.